The recent ratings for Jimmy Kimmel Live have sparked quite a conversation, especially following a notable surge in viewership when the show made its return last week. However, the excitement was short-lived as the ratings took a significant nosedive shortly thereafter. After a brief hiatus, Kimmel's show was back on air last Tuesday, thanks to Disney's decision to resume broadcasting, following what they described as thoughtful conversations with Kimmel regarding his controversial remarks about the tragic death of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk. Kimmel had faced backlash for suggesting that some MAGA Republicans were exploiting Kirk's death for political gain. On the night of his return, Kimmel attracted an impressive 6.3 million viewers, a figure that more than tripled his usual audience. But here's where it gets controversial. Just 2 days later, Fox News reported that viewership plummeted to an average of 2.3 million, marking a staggering 64% decline. To put this in perspective, prior to his suspension, Kimmel's show had been averaging around 1.77 million viewers during the second quarter of the year. Interestingly, before Kimmel's return, cable operators Nexstar and Sinclair had initially refused to air the show. However, they announced on Friday that they would lift their boycott, which had affected approximately 23% of U.S. households who were unable to access Kimmel's show on ABC stations operated by these companies. The controversy began when Kimmel made remarks following the shooting of Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University on September 10th. In his comments, Kimmel expressed frustration over the attempts by some to distance themselves from the shooter, who has been charged in connection with Kirk's murder. He stated, "We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it." The fallout from Kimmel's comments was swift. FCC Chair Brendan Carr labeled his remarks as truly sick and hinted that ABC's broadcasting license could be jeopardized as a result. This led to ABC's decision to suspend Kimmel's show, although they later reversed that decision. Despite this, Nexstar and Sinclair maintained their stance and chose not to air the show. In the wake of Kimmel's suspension, numerous prominent figures from both Hollywood and politics, including former President Barack Obama, voiced their disapproval. They raised concerns about free speech and the implications of Kimmel's suspension. Over 400 celebrities signed an open letter advocating for Kimmel, and protests erupted outside his Hollywood studio. Even President Donald Trump weighed in on the situation. Initially, he celebrated ABC's decision to suspend Kimmel's show, but later criticized the network when they announced it would return. Trump expressed disbelief on Truth Social, stating, "I can't believe ABC fake news gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back." The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled. Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone and his talent was never there. Upon his return, Kimmel delivered an emotional monologue, visibly moved as he clarified his intentions regarding the previous week's episode. This moment resonated with many viewers, but the question remains, will Kimmel's ratings recover, or has the controversy irreparably impacted his audience? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments.